ToyTractorTimes.com is at the 2017 St. Louis Farm Toy Show with Brian Long. He's made the trip up here from Texas. He's been well known on ToyTractorTimes.com and Toy Talk as a member for many, many years. Built a lot of great 1/64 pieces, but has also been outstanding in developing and customizing precision tractors in 1/16 scale. So Brian's got a whole fleet. If you're a Red Power fan, get ready for a great video. So congratulations, Brian. It looks like you came in first place for an adult 1/16 layout.
Yes, sir. It's the first time I've entered in this category before.
And we got the St. Louis Arts Trophy here. And start taking a look at some of these tractors.
We'll start off here from the oldest one, go to the newest. This is a 1965 Farmall 1206. What makes it a 65 model is it has 1206 decals versus the emblems. I had to strip down the hood off the Ertl 1206 Precision, file off the 1206 emblems.
And when you say emblem, we can look at the 1256. It's got this kind of plate. It's got a gold or brass look to it. Aluminum on them, and when you see them out there, and we can see here, it's got the big bull 1206.
Other details I added this one. I added some of Denny Wagner's resin or 3D printed front weights. These are the solid ones. The early ones didn't have the L bracket going through it. Other details that I added was Chuck Steffens Firestone rear tires. Painted some dual rims to match the 1206. Added some extra wheel weights on the inside wheel. And I also added a International Harvester Cat 2, Cat 3 quick hitch to the back. And also switched out the pre-cleaner to a Deluxe Donaldson.
That's a tough looking tractor. That'd be a nice one to see at a farm show in person.
They were probably the prettiest ones internationally ever made. The next one, this here is an 856. They start off as Ertl Precision with the cab on it. I had to remove the cab. When we removed the cab, there's a nasty, ugly hole on the top of the hood here. I had to fill that hole in and repaint the entire hood again to match. Added a platform and deluxe flat top fenders with the radio and an International Harvester Cat 2 quick hitch. This one has long bar axles on it. Added a few extra wheel weights to it, dual wheels, 1016 8-bolt front wheels and hubs, and detailed engine painting and oil filter and.
Yeah, I can see the decal on that oil filter.
Ether can decal. And the other side, I have a fuel filter decal.
Okay, and we've got a dealership. Did you add the dealership decal there?
Yes, that's the local dealership to me. It was Goss Implement, Honey Grove, Texas.
Very cool. There's all our oil detail. So then we got the 1256 back here with the duals off, but we got the brackets.
Yes, this one's got the. This started off as Ertl 1456. I took the fenders and platform off this one, and I put a what they call an ice cream box cab off of a Ertl 806. Added the deluxe mirrors to it, the straight black stack like the 1206s had, 1016 8-bolt fronts, 18438 Firestone rears with long bar axles and the International Harvester 9-bolt dual hubs, and also an International quick hitch.
Let's see if we can get back there and see that. Very nice. These are great parts of history. So when it comes to international, I guess one of the great tractors to find is a golden demo, and unfortunately a lot of these got painted over pretty quickly after they were made sometimes.
This one is modeled after my real 1456 gold demo that I have. Mine is gold underneath the sheet metal, but on the outside it's red. It's been repainted over, but it is a true, legit gold demo, and it was sold new at a Goss Implement in Honey Grove, Texas. This one I had took the hood and stripped it down, stripped the paint off the fenders, painted it all gold, painted the dash black, because that's one of the key features that makes it gold demo.
So that's pretty easy to tell if you find a red one. That
yes.
You come over here.
Still the black dash.
This 856 got the red dash. This 1456 has got the black dash.
Added the solid front International Harvester suitcase weights, a set of 1016 8-bolts to the front, belly-mounted fuel tank, That was a 42-gallon capacity. It doubled the fuel capacity of the tractor.
I'm always really, you see these in the brochures occasionally, and it's just something neat that IH did and stands out.
They weren't big in row crop country. They were bigger out west.
Because that hangs down their way, so it's better to be doing small grains or broad acres.
This was also got the long bar axle, added weights with the bolts, to hold the weights on, wheel weights, international 9-bolt dual hubs, and international Cat 3, Cat 2 quick hitch.
Very nice. Another big 1456 back here.
This 1456 is more like a 14 that you would see in the I-States. It sucked in on 30 inches. It was decked out with M&W options. Has the M&W aluminum oil pan. That was the extended capacity oil pan.
Now, where's that? Oh, is that down here?
Yes.
The silver part?
Yes.
See if I can get in there with the camera.
Fins on it.
Yep, there, so you can see it hanging down there. These are all the kind of details you might not notice at a classic tractor show or on dealer lot. So
another thing is the M&W pyrometer. M&W is a big performance aftermarket add-ons for tractors back in the 60s and 70s.
So that's the gauge sticking up right there in the center of the
looks directly up to the
steering
turbo
column.
manifold to let you know how hot it's running. International harvester, fender mounted radio.
And this tractor was 140 horsepower range? Stock. Now, I bet that was turning a lot more with all that component.
Everybody twisted on them. They were all twisted up. A lot of them well up close to 200, if not more, horsepower.
Sure.
This one's got this one is another key feature that I did. I built the correct style 1456 front axle for this one. The 1456 had a heavier duty center axle pivot. The center tube was heavier duty, and the center tube clamp brackets are also turned back at 45 degrees. They weren't straight up and down. And they had the square wishbone. Ertl never did get it correct, but I corrected it on this one.
Well, it looks good. I know that's always, we watch for you on Toy Talk to tell us tires and axles, so it's good to get it right. So we move on to the 66 series, which the black stripes were only made in 1976.
Black stripes actually came out in November of 75, but they counted as a 76-year production.
And then the 86s came out September 11th, 1976, so it's a very short run for these black stripes.
Yes, they started off as the Ertl Precision. And of course, did my standard routine 1016 front tires on 8-bolt hubs. This has actually got the decals on the fuel filters on the DT 414 engine. They were spin-ons. They weren't cartridge like the D407 engines. On this one, also added the hydraulic seat, which was a deluxe option for these. The black stripes, all the TA levers, the throttle, and the shifter levers, they were all black. They didn't have silver handles.
And we can see the earlier style model over here. It's got the silver, so that's a good little tidbit of history to know.
Yep. Another thing was black stripes also had square turnbuckles on the 3-point hitch and a solid drawbar, and that's one option on the back how I made it a correct. Ertl never did put the correct turnbuckles on it, but I swapped them out and got it.
So do we have a comparison for the turnbuckle over here?
This one broke in transport, but you'll see how this one right here is it's round. That's how they were round up until late 75 is when they changed them. That's one way also to identify a fake black stripe.
Yeah, a lot of people, they're a cool tractor, so a lot of people over the years have just slapped that black sticker on there. I think the louvers too, if I remember.
Yeah, the louvers off the side of the radiator.
Yeah, when we made our Toy Tractor Times model back in 06 for the 30th anniversary of the tractor, you can see this is a flat panel. You come back here, and then it's got the louvers on the white panel. So a lot of little things that change on the models over the years.
This 1066 is just a stock Ertl one. It's just dressed up. I did a 1116 tri-ribs on the front on 8-bolt hubs, just a little bit shorter, fatter tire on the front. It's got the old school Firestone 151 rear tires on it, long bar axles, added dual hubs and wheel weights.
Very nice. And then we got another 1066 up here.
It's a 1566.
1560. Oh, that's the big one. And that's one, a lot of people think of the 1566 as that black stripe model, but the 1566 was around a few years before.
It came out in 1974. This is actually based off of a 75 because in 1975 they removed the louvers off the side radiator panel, even on the white stripe 66 series. So that's one way to help identify a 75 model 66 series. Added 1116 8-bolt front wheels to this one because I wanted to match the 20.8 38 Firestones I put on the back. It's got the correct 1566 rear wheel centers, which are the heavy duty ones similar to 5488 and 1586.
We can see again how that really differs from the 1066 here, and it's not, these tractors are not just a decal change. There's a lot of mechanics that go into them.
The 15s had a 4-inch diameter axle bar, and they also had 10-bolt hubs instead of 9-bolt hubs. Then it's got the international quick hitch and added hydraulic seat and engine detailing.
And then you come back here to a white cab 1466.
Yes, this is the last one of the first Ertl Precision series. I never did like the wheel and tire combo on it, so again it gets the famous 1016 8-bolt fronts, the Firestone 18.4 38s on the rear, long bar axles, dual hubs. I did not add any extra weights to this one. Well, I did. To take it back, I did. Added 2 extra weights to it. And the IH quick hitch. And another thing, air conditioning unit.
Yeah, I never knew why Ertl didn't put those on there because it just gives them a great look, and it's something I really wanted to do when we made our version for the magazine, and it's they look good that way. So we move up there. Then the tractor's got some V8 power in the mid 70s.
This was an early version of the 1468. Added a Coleman front axle to it.
And Coleman, they're kind of known for this pumpkin up here where it sits off center, and then that drive line runs right up there underneath. And I have to say, a front wheel assist duals 1468 is about as probably cool and hot rod as you could have looked on the farm back then.
Yep, and then I got the quick hitch on the back and the air conditioning unit, axle mounted duals, a little bit extra wheel weights.
And we can see the weights in there inside the row crop spacing. And then I guess
Nice to meet you.
Thanks.
we can also see a difference as we jump over to a 1568 on the cabs where they had the windows here on the early style, and then by 76 they blanked that window completely out on the black stripes, and I also believe a little difference between the red cab.
The rear windows are also different too. These were parallel with the corner bar, but these were slanted forward.
Sure. And then the 1568 replaced the 1468. They didn't offer both at the same time.
No, they did not. Not in the 68 series.
Right.
This one's got 1116 8-bolt front wheels and tires on it, which matches great with the 20.8 38 rear tires on it. It's got the correct 1568 rear wheel centers, factory 2 wheel weights, 10-bolt dual hubs, and IH quick hitch, and the air conditioning unit. This one's also got another thing that's hidden on there too. It's got the belly mounted fuel tank, which is the cab kind of hides a little bit. That's another neat feature. These things were fuel hogs back in the day.
I'm sure that if you had one, you'd appreciate having that on there.
And something else that my 68s have that some of the real ones did, there's a tiny decal on it that said custom made for, and they would have the farmer's name engraved in it. And of course mine have my name engraved in it, but that's just one extra decal I added to it.
I never knew that. That's I guess when you just look in the brochures, you don't get to see that because they weren't delivered. So they definitely have a custom look, and we'll zoom in on that plate a little bit.
Here for a minute. I'll be right back.
So we got one more 1468 up here.
Ertl's never did have the right stance to it. I lowered down the front end on this one, give it the 1016s on 8-bolt wheels and hubs, 18.4 38s on the back, long bar axles, IH 9-bolt dual hubs, added wheel weights to it, belly mounted fuel tank, which gave it a little tougher look, the air conditioner unit, and the quick hitch.
Sure, and again, we can see the difference in the axle of a 1468 and then the 1568, the way that wheel and everything else is put on there. So then we move to the end of the era of some of these tractors and to the 86 series.
These are based off the 80 to 81 International 86 series. They're also known as the Power Priority hydraulics on these internationals. This one added a front axle off of a 5488, which isn't factory correct, but I never did like the Colemans or the axles in the 86 series, and I wanted one that looked more streamlined and more fitting for the tractor. So I added that one on there, and then I added the 5488 style mechanical front weights to it and painted them red and put a big old IH sticker on there like they deserve. This has got the 20.8 dual rears and tires on it, and it's also got the correct steel squared up quick hitch that the 86s had. They didn't have the casted one like the previous series did.
And can we flip one of these around to see like the 66 hitch to show that difference? And then just have the older style.
Yeah, it's got the round turnbuckles on it.
You can see that and the difference in the way they crank that down.
This one is another 1486. I also call them tri-stripes. And with the Power Priority hydraulics, they had an extra hydraulic filter that sat underneath the frame rail. And that's one way to identify that it's a true tri-stripe or not. And a unique feature about this one, I put what they call the International Harvester flame cut weights. These are steel slab weights and not international casted weights. And they fit in a certain order to give them a certain look like that. But they are true international weights.
Well, thank you for this great tour. I mean, this is memory lane for me because I remember seeing a lot of these tractors new on the dealership lot. And just traded in. So thank you for making a trip all the way up here to St. Louis and bringing all these great models up, right? Thank you.
Have it ready next year? No.